Excellent, Brother Shamir. Inshallah, we can thank him for his recitation and ask Mawlati Fatima Zahra to accept it by offering the loudest of salawats upon Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. We come to our final spoken word poet, one who has been writing for many a year now, one who has many poems in remembrance of praise and mourning of each of the Ma'sumin and other historical figures within Islam, within the Shia Islamic history. But before we invite him up, I know it's been a very somber occasion thus far, and that's what this majlis is for. However, what we wish to have now is for that intensity to go up a notch. After Brother Nouri, we'll then lead into the Masa'ib by our dear Sayyid Zafar Abbas, and then the Latmiyat will start. And just a note for the sisters, once the Latmiyat has started, if you could please vacate the hall to the side, inshallah. And brothers, once the Latmiyat has started, please, please, please make your way forward. Do not hesitate. Do not be shy. Do not wait for others. We're here to grieve. We're here to cry, and we're here to mourn. For Mawlati Fatima Zahra, salamullahi alayha, and her dear unborn son, Hazrat Mohsin, our prince and our queen. So inshallah, following on from the Masa'ib, please do make your ways forwards. Please do take part in the Latmiyah. But for now, I call upon my dear brother and my dear friend, Brother Nouri Sardar, to inshallah take us further with our majlis. Please can we welcome him with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
A desert with the vice of sin more humid. A desert with the vice of sin more humid. The vice of sin could not be more. Amid this sin the Lord descended Muhammad. A desert with the vice of sin more humid. The vice of sin could not be more. Amid this sin the Lord descended Muhammad. He was truth embodied. He told not a lie. He was truth embodied. He told not a lie. He was the sun that rose not late and not early. Who opposed him? Not Khadija, not Ali. In fact, Ali held Badr and fought in her. In fact, Ali held Badr and fought in her. He conquered the gate of Khaybar's, fought in her. When he'd bleed, wipe his wounds with Fatima. And Fatima wouldn't leave his side and hasn't. Fatima wouldn't leave his side and hasn't. Just like the sea wouldn't leave the shore and hasn't. She gave birth to both Hussein and Hassan. Hassan, poisoned by his wife, none would call her sane. None would look at their enemies and say, he's sane. Hassan stood, but with Yazid rose. Hussein, Hussein, and the vice of tyranny his sword jarred. Hussein, the vice of tyranny his sword jarred. His glare shook evil. All that he saw jarred. His battle continued by Zainab, Abbas and Sajjad, seeking to reform the nation of his grandfather Muhammad. Salli ala Muhammadin wa Muhammad. I cried no, I cried no. They approached the door and I cried no. Know who we are. I saw his eye, cried no. They pushed the door against me as I cried no. After I cried out, protect me, O Haidar. No more seen, no more seen. A child within my womb, no more seen. The rib breaking within me cries, no more sin. No Muhammad, no Haidar, no Mohsin. Just his hand, the door, the nail and the fire. Tonight from every eye, O Zahra, tears of blood for you fall. Every eye sees you crushed between the door and wall. Weeps for this sight Zahra, the moon, the stars and all. And with them from a wounded heart your name we call. As fire to the house that angel's visit is brought. They tell him she's inside and he shouts out, so what? With the blood of Zahra the pledge of Ali is sought. Between the door and nail heaven sent his court. Crushed the rose that brought joy to the eyes of Muhammad. Crushed the rose that brought joy to the eyes of Muhammad. Ripped its petals that flow in the tears his eyes shed. His unborn grandson Mohsin to the nail led, and on his daughter the feet of oppressors tread. Bleeding from her chest to Mohsin she bids goodbye. Bleeding from her chest to Mohsin she bids goodbye. She says, in the depths of my heart, O child, you'll always lie. I'll see you as a youth, not an unborn, in my eye. And to your grave daily I'll sing a lullaby. Ali buries Zahra at night, all alone, saying, O joy of my heart, by death from me you've taken. His hand feels the rib in her chest, it's broken. His hand feels the rib in her chest, it's broken. And the lion cries, a child left an orphan. And the lion cries, a child left an orphan. Salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Can I please get a second salawat from the loudest of your voices? Salli ala Muhammad. Don't think only Fatima by the door was taken. Don't think only Fatima by the door was taken. Hajar and Maryam and Hawa found their ribs broken. Don't think only Fatima by the door was taken. Hajar and Maryam and Hawa found their ribs broken. How many women fall between the door and wall? They asked the house. From the house of Fatima they heard a roar. It was as if gold fell and shattered the floor. They asked the house, and when they ask it, its tears pour. How many women between the wall and door? What fell? Even thunder was embarrassed from its sound. What is worth so much that when it fell it hurt the ground? What made the earth's turn stall between the door and wall? The greatest women from the Holy Quran cried out in pain, and found their ribs were broken. In tears, holding their ribs, they asked the question, what happened to the leader of all women? What fell and what broke? This pain is so unbearable. Were it placed on a mountain, we would watch this mountain crumble. Hearts to our mother crawl between the door and wall. I saw Hajar running, looking for water. I saw Hajar running, looking for water. Suddenly, she forgot the thirst within her. She felt the pain of the rib of Fatima. She felt the pain of the rib of Fatima, as if she's crushed between Safa and Marwa. Between two mountains, the mountain of patience crushed. She heard the voice of Zahra was hushed. For her mother she'd call between the wall and door. Between the door and wall. I saw Maryam still pregnant with her son. I saw Maryam still pregnant with her son. Hearing the silence of her child within, she cries out as a mother's worries begin. Oh Fatima, what happened to your Mohsin? I swear if you find that your son shall no longer live, don't cry, O Zahra, my Isa to you I'll give. Child, mother and all between the door and wall. I see Hawa with Adam and they wail. What happened to the mother of the veil? I know when I felt in my chest a nail that on her tears the ship of salvation set sail. Tell me why the light from which I took all my shyness leaves this world in pain, in wailing and in distress, and her killer stands tall between the wall and door, between the door and wall. I hear the voices of all women are hushed. I hear the voices of all women are hushed. When into the house of Fatima they rushed. It wasn't just Fatima by the door crushed. It wasn't just Fatima by the door crushed. It wasn't just her veil by fire brushed. Every lover of Our Lady Fatima Zahra screams out in pain, hearing of the door and fire. Nothing broken was small. Nothing broken was small between the door and wall. Don't think only Fatima by the door was taken. Hajar and Maryam and Hawa found their ribs broken. How many women fall between the door and wall? How many women fall between the door and wall? Salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. From one mother of tragedy to another, from Fatima to Zahra salamullah alayha to Sayyidah Zainab, who is still being oppressed to this day with eyes seeking to demolish her shrine. Could it be the end of times? Could it be the end of times? Look at the crimes against her. They have their eyes on her shrine and her bloodline. Protect her. A message we've given. We are all Zainab's children. I arose in painting a rose, Ali's daughter. I wanted to paint a picture, and I picked her. For this there was none worthier and none worth her. But now as we stand with her, I watch her wither. This is who, if men discuss her, it disgusts her. A sister of the moon asks, who will assist her? I arose in painting a rose, Ali's daughter. I wanted to paint a picture, so I picked her. For this there was none worthier and none worth her. But now as we stand with her, I watch her wither. This is who, if men discuss her, it disgusts her. A sister of the moon asks, who will assist her? I have painted a picture and I brushed her with sadness, the mother of tragedy, so silently in distress. She saw they were coming for her and for her throne, the princess of calamity from her throne. I heard the screaming of this rose. She's all alone, and her screaming sounded like the crushing of bone. If they dug up her grave, and they reached her tombstone, for the sin that shakes the heavens, can they atone? If they take out her body and take proudly her captive, what excuse to her father and her brother can we give? I felt as if I stood on the edge of time's end. I felt as if I stood on the edge of time's end, and standing here, I saw upon Zainab a trend. I felt that with a tyrant she had to contend, and that a captive to Kufa, Zainab they'd send. Only now there'd be not a soul to her wounds mend. With her between their hands, who will to her wounds tend? If her body is taken, she'll awaken between them. For us she will be searching and complaining against them. Oppression wanted a grave, and Zainab's they find. Oppression wanted a grave, and Zainab's they find. The stand against oppression alone she defined. The beauty of her dome makes them with anger blind. God bless the hand that this holy palace designed. God bless the hand that this holy palace designed. Her shrine, it bends the scale against mankind. Man is man, man is man, but Zainab, she is one of a kind. Her shrine, it is a beacon. Nations listen to her voice. In the eye her dome glistens. The heart weakens without choice. A call came that froze the blood deep within our veins. They said, we will not rest till not a single grave remains. Is it the devil that's holding Syria's reins? Is it Zainab captive or her father in chains? They destroyed Hijr's grave and wanted his remains. How long before their eyes will turn toward Hussein's? How long before their eyes will turn toward Hussein's? No, we will not allow them. No, we will not allow them. We are the children of zeal. The devil's hand will never her shrine enter and feel. For I saw high on her dome, her brother's banner flies. Even after death, her flowing tears he dries. The name of Zainab on their forehead every man ties. This pride we've marked upon our heads, and it never dies. Know that by the grave of Zainab our pride it lies, and it will manifest into Mahdi if she cries. God forbid if she topples, evil grapples with Mahdi, and just as the sun is rising, his uprising eyes will see. He knows if he'd return, we are Zainab's children. He knows if he return, we are Zainab's children. Salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Second salawat at your loudest voices, please. From one tragedy to another, from one fire to another, from the tragedy of the fire of the burning of Zahra, of the house of Zahra, to the burning of the tents of Karbala. I feel that all the Ahlulbait alayhim salam are linked. You can link Fatima Zahra to her son Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and you can link Imam Hussein alayhi salam to his father Ali ibn Abi Talib. The same reason why oppression against us is taking place and against the shrine of Sayyid Zainab in Syria, because of our love for Ali ibn Abi Talib. But no one was a greater follower of Ali than his son Hussein. And the connection he had with his father was not just a connection between son and father, it was something much greater than that. So in this poem I want to look at the pride that we have that is Ali ibn Abi Talib, and how Hussein ibn Ali manifested that pride on the plains of Karbala. Before I read this poem, Salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. With no family, he calls out proudly. With no family, he calls out proudly, if I had 1,000 sons, I'd name them all Ali. With no family, he calls out proudly, if I had 1,000 sons, I'd name them all Ali. By the son of Ali, we'll never leave Ali. By our guide Muhammad, who never told a lie. By the tears for his grandson that on the eye lie. By the household that never once uttered, I lie. By the awaited Saviour to whom we ally. By these moons never late and suns never early, not a lie, on our eyes lies a lie to Ali. By our guide Muhammad, who never told a lie. By the tears for his grandson that on the eye lie. By the household that never once uttered, I lie. By the awaited Saviour to whom we ally. By these moons never late and suns never early, not a lie, on our eyes lies a lie to Ali. The eye never lies, and written on our eyes, we'll never leave Ali, even if every eye dies. And to prove we're with Ali, we swear it by Ali. Against 70,000 he cried out Haydar, a pride that slept in his blood, and none could hide her. Against the world he held the pride of his leader. Against the seven skies, like a flash of thunder, he replied when they cried, we shall avenge Badr. Ali is my leader, and no one could be prouder. He killed 35. He killed 35, and for vengeance they'd strive. But yet 1,000 years later, Ali's still alive, always living Ali. No one can defeat Ali. His allegiance is not a choice. His allegiance is not a choice. It flows in the blood. All created from mud, but us from Ali's mud. His allegiance is not a choice. It flows in the blood, all created from mud, but us from Ali's mud. The father of dust became to dust, a beloved, and turned every grain of dust into a rosebud. The eye's gaze stays fixed on whatever it's loved, and against the shore of Ali, his lovers flood, just like skin and hair. Just like skin and hair, or breathing and air. His name is fused with our bloodstream and comforts all despair in the bloodstream. Ali, inseparable. Ali. To Hussein, his father was not just a parent. To Hussein, his father was not just a parent. Their connection a secret and not apparent. If Ali was the perfume, Hussein was the scent. If Ali was the perfume, Hussein was the scent. If Ali's the memory, Hussein's the moment. Against the world with Ali, he was defiant. Just as we've held on to Ali despite torment, he saw Ali's worth and he cried with our birth. We are with Ali if we're against the turn of the earth. When all hated Ali, we stood beside Ali. Seeing the strike upon the head of Ali al-Akbar, Hussein remembers the strike upon his father. Seeing the strike upon the head of Ali al-Akbar, Hussein remembers the strike upon his father. To the name Ali, no one was worthier. They wanted to kill Ali, and they found another, like the strike on his father, yet like no other. Like the strike on his father, yet like no other. How? The strike does not reach his skull, but reaches further. And all Hussein sees are the two Alis, and two memories clashed together. Like the clash of seas, the son he'd named Ali had become like Ali. From the love of his father daily he'd sip, Ali on his tongue and Ali on each lip. Against the wave of enemies, against the sea of enemies, like a warship, he cries out, remembering Ali is worship and seeking Ali's love. Seeking Ali's love, arrows into his chest rip until the ship of salvation boarded Ali's ship. And still this Hussein upon Karbala's plain cries out, Ali's in my heart, my soul and every vein. Headless he meets Ali in the love of Ali, and still with no family he calls out proudly, if I had 1,000 sons, I'd name them all Ali. By the son of Ali, will never leave Ali. By the son of Ali, will never leave Ali. Thank you very much for listening. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Oh Father, now you've left this world, I look around and I feel worried. You left behind so many messages, yet none of these men took heed. My Ali was meant to be the next one after you to then lead, but these individuals have come along and taken his right out of pure greed. I am your daughter. I am your daughter. Why do I feel under attack by those who say you're their master? It feels like any moment now they're going to come and send me back to you, Father. And to be honest, that's what I would rather. But I have my responsibilities here, for I am a mother. But I do not think I will be for even that much longer. Oh Father, I promise you I have tried to stay strong, but already tafadak to me no longer belongs. How long has it been since you left? It's not even been that long. I'm having to prepare for the episodes that are soon to come along. I feel our followers will have to face all lifelong oppression, pain and torture. With you gone, our family faces merciless slaughter. Hussein's going to go without any water. Hassan's body is going to be rained down with arrows like mortars. Ali will be murdered within his own headquarter. Oh Father, please make my suffering shorter. Please make my suffering shorter. Oh Father, in my life, you were that beacon of light, guiding me through my tough days and tough nights, teaching me from infancy between what was wrong and right, placing the burning love for the Lord within my heart and ignite, helping me conquer the problems no matter their height. gracing me with your presence, your perfect image between my sight, and in those moments of despair and emotion holding me tight. But oh Father, come back to me now, as I hear these men outside ready to make this house a murder site. Oh Father, should I be scared or excited to meet my Lord? I don't care how they kill me, even if they use a sword. I'm nervous about meeting my Creator, the one I have always adored. A few more moments of prayers, I'm sure I could have been able to afford. Oh Father, they continue to knock on the house. I think it's now time to walk towards that door and to face my destiny. Oh Father, come here, hold my hand, and please face it with me. Weren't these men who said like you they want to be? So why do they come here wanting to hurt and abuse me? Purely for the reason of their fake leadership and the fact that I don't agree. They all know that it was meant to go to my dearest Ali. Oh Father, they don't care about who's inside this house, be it me, my offspring, or even my spouse. But I'm scared. Please tell them to stop. Oh Father, now I'm back with you. I feel my soul is at ease. They threatened me, and my bay'ah they tried to seize. The door came crashing on me, and I fell to my knees. I wasn't able to do anything. I think I just freezed. Oh Father, I felt that burning door, raging with fire of high degrees, crush me between the floor, and I felt my Mohsin within me squeeze. Oh Father, now my ordeal is complete, and I sit with you here near Kawthar. I worry and I am scared for my family, for this life of oppression goes further for them. And I know they'll face difficulties greater than mine. My incident with the burning door was just a mere sign for the things to come that they'll then endure. Oh Allah, grant me sabr, because one calamity is enough. I'll struggle to take any more and to deliver the Messiah.